my fan-double-tastic students. We are now going to be using the equation of the circle to help identify the center and the radius values of our circle. So we're going to be given a circle equation in standard form, and from this lovely equation we can find the center point and the radius. So that's what example 1 and 2 are on. So get excited. It's going to be 2 double thumbs up, so get excited. But anyways, so don't forget, this is the standard form of the center of the circle. It's x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Now you're probably like, Miss Long, what are all these weird h's and k's and r's? What's all that? Well, don't you worry. I have it spelled out for you right here. So our center point of our circle is going to be the h and k value, but you have to think the opposite when we write our center point. So if this is like a minus sign in the equation, it's actually going to be a positive value in our point. If it's a plus value in our equation, guess what? It's going to be a negative sign in our point. So the values from the equation to the point are the opposite. So we must think the opposite when we write our center. Okay, also the r in our equation is the radius, but you have to be careful. This is r squared. Look at it. R squared. This equation does not equal r. I need to get my thing back together. Sorry guys. Almost have it right. Here we go. All right, back to normal. But anyways, this equals r squared. R squared, r squared, r squared. Okay, this equals r squared. So that means to find the radius, which is our r value, we have to square root the value that our equation equals. So we must square root this answer right here, this value, to get the length of the radius. So be careful. The demon cats love to get people all the time about that. People are like, oh, it equals the radius. So my radius is whatever this number is. No, and the demon cats come after you. So watch out. Okay, we have to square root that value to get the radius. Okay, so after I went over all that, this should be pretty straightforward. So let's start on example 1. So I want to get my center point from my equation as well as my radius. So the center are my h and k values, which, don't forget, we think the opposite with these values. So which one of these values is my h value? It is this value, but in my equations, it's a negative one. Okay, so my center is hk. So let's fill in these lovely values real quickly. Okay, so if this is a negative sign in my equation, it's going to be the opposite in here, so it should be positive. So what is the opposite of a negative 1? It is positive 1. So my point, we're going to write a positive 1. So these two should always be the opposite sign, so be careful. Okay, and then which value is the k value? Which one of these is my k? Look closely. Holy hot dog, you guys, it is the 5. But remember, we must think the opposite. So if that is a positive 5, what will my k value be in my point? It will be a negative 5. You guys are on a roll today. Okay, so my center point is simply 1, negative 5. And guess what? That's it for the center. So the center is 1, negative 5. I'm going to box that in now. All right, and then the radius, don't forget, the equation equals the radius squared. So to find the radius, we have to square root what the equation equals. We have to square root that final number on the end to get the radius. Okay, so I'm going to square root 49. Be careful. The radius is not 49. The demon cats will get you on that, so be careful. So I'm going to square root 49 to get my radius value. So what is the square root of what is the square root of 49? It is 7. So my radius length is 7 units. And guess what, you guys? That's it for example 1. It was way too easy, right? I mean, the problem just ended way too quickly. Hopefully the next one's a little bit more challenging, because that just went over way too quickly. We need a longer and more exciting problem, because the longer the problem, the more exciting the problem. All right, let's start example 2.